Good morning, everyone. Reverend Denise here on this 6th day of September. So let's begin today by wishing all of our September babies a very happy birthday. And there's quite a few of them this month. And I'd like to start with my precious sister, Maureen Goldstein, and then Tony Meixner. And from our prayer ministry, we have Kenneth Falk and Sonny Hobbs. And then there's Alice Ormiston, Dan Henderson, Sandy Greco, Omar Baez, Salvador Melli, and Mary Beth Barrows. And if there's anyone that I have left out on my list, please know we celebrate you. So happy birthday to all of our September babies. And to everyone, I hope this beautiful Sunday morning finds you healthy and safe. So lately, I've been doing a lot of thinking and contemplating on the state of our world right now. We are living in trying times. Things have been difficult. Things have been confusing. Things have been frustrating. Things have been sad and emotional. Looking around our country, we see the hurts, the wounds, the struggles, the devastation from things like the wildfires in California, the odd windstorm that ripped apart Cedar Rapids, the path of destruction that tornadoes took in Tennessee and Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, and Alabama, the hurricanes, Hurricane Hannah, Isaias, Laura, Marco. And then there's the pandemic. And that has taken so many lives and has sickened so many people. And the death toll still rises. All this while we are still dealing with the systemic racism and the inequity. We see the violence in the streets, the destruction, the hatred, the divisiveness. This country is so divided. But it's not just the country as if out there apart from us. Look closer. It's our cities, our towns, our communities, our neighborhood. They're divided. And many families are divided. We have turned from our humanness. We've become blinded to the reality that we are all one. And I understand hurt people, right? So how do we break that cycle? How do we heal the wounds? How do we lift those who are struggling? How do we assist those in devastated areas? And how do we help the sick and the dying? I don't claim to have the answers. But right now I know we are all so tired. And there's two kinds of tired. One that requires rest and one that requires peace. We have all rested enough. We require peace. We need peace. And that peace, that has to begin with us. That has to begin within us. And one sure way to find peace is through love. The two greatest commandments are to love God with our whole heart, soul, and mind. And second, to love our neighbor as thyself. So that tells us there is nothing more important than love. And from Ernest Holmes on the two great commandments, he says love is a complete unity with life. And we cannot enter this state unless we are in unity with all that lives. For all life is one. He also said, now from this teaching we are not to suppose that we are to love that in each other which does not savor of right. We are to love the right alone. We are to look for God in each other and love this God, forgetting all else. But would this compel us to accept from people that which is not good? Of course not. It is not necessary for one to make a doormat of himself in proving God is love. We are not to be a doormat, nor to silence ourselves. But we are to seek God in all people. I know it's been hard lately. And I know some of you have been struggling. I've been struggling too. And I've been doing some reading, and I came across this one reading from Mother Teresa. It says, "Love is a fruit, always in season, at all times, and within the reach of every hand." And I thought, well, we haven't seen the flourishing of that harvest. We have been witnessing and contributing to the barrenness and the fruitlessness. We are wounded and we are wounding. But Mother Teresa is right about love. It is within the reach of every hand. We've just placed our attention on what is wrong and what is different, instead of what can be right and what is mutual. Love is our commonality. That which is within every life is good, is God, is love. Find God within each person and love that. Help to elevate this nation with a vibration of love. Be that hand that reaches back to someone who is experiencing great struggles, or to hold someone who has suffered deep loss. Be that person that brings hope back to the hopeless. Be the smile that lights up someone's darkness. See, deep within every person is a heart that is so filled with love and that wishes, truly wishes, only good for all people. But we sometimes get lost in our anger. And our lack of understanding leads us to feel despair. And we pull away. We pull away from those who don't think like us, who don't vote like us, who don't believe like us, who don't look like us. And then we experience the complete opposite of what our heart wishes. These are trying times. So let's keep trying. Let's keep trying to see clearer, trying to be more patient, trying to be more compassionate, trying to be more understanding, trying to be stronger, trying to be more caring for others as well as for ourselves, because self-care is crucial, especially when you are tired, and that tiredness requires peace. We can all do something to help each other, even in this restricted pandemic environment. The lay ministry interns just recently was a great example of this. They shared ideas with you that they hoped would inspire you, inform you, and uplift you in faith. There are so many ways that you can reach out. A call, a card, a prayer. And our prayer ministry is always here for you too. Believing in and holding sacred space for your highest good. And we can help with our own vibration and our own energy. When we feel so frustrated and about to lose control, we can practice the pause. Have you heard that? practicing the pause. When in doubt, pause. When angry, pause. When stressed, pause. And when you pause, pray. Pray. Pray to remember, pray for clarity, pray for insight, pray for understanding, and always pray with gratitude. Because no matter what is happening, there is always, always something to be grateful for. These are trying times. So let's keep trying. Trying to love thy neighbor as thyself. Trying to love thyself. Trying to find God in all people and love them from there. Trying to seek peace within myself when there is no peace outside, because I know it must begin within me. Trying to remember there is nothing more important or more powerful than love. And with love comes great peace. Which reminds me, there is a story I like to tell you. One day, the most peaceful inhabitants of the earth asked one very powerful wizard if he could stop all wars and bloodshed on the planet. "Oh, that's simple," said the wizard. "I will destroy all weapons on earth and no one will be able to fight anymore." "Well, that would be great," exclaimed the peaceful inhabitants. The wizard waved his wand and it was done. There was peace on the planet. For 3 days, while the majority of those who were prone to fight sought and could not find a weapon. When they understood that all weapons were gone, they began to make spears out of young trees and started to fight once again. When the wizard heard this, he said, "Oh, no worries. I will destroy all young trees, so they will not be able to make spears and fight." Well, there was peace. And again, after 3 days of useless searching for young trees suitable for spear making, these fighting people began to cut down giant trees and made great weapons, and the bloodshed started again. So the wizard destroyed all giant trees. But then those who wished to fight made knives and swords from metal. So the wizard destroyed all metals from the planet. But they soon began to use rocks, and they would sling them at one another. So it became necessary for the wizard to destroy all stone. Now the peacekeepers began to worry. All trees have disappeared. There is no metals, no stones. They feared, how would they eat? Soon all vegetation would be gone, and people would die, even without fighting. They said this is the wrong solution for this problem. And the wizard became confused, not knowing what to do, and the peacemakers fell into a great despair. And then one clever child spoke up. And he said to the wizard, "I know exactly what you should do. Let people feel how others perceive their actions. If one person hurts someone, let him feel the same pain. And if a person brings joy to someone, let him feel the same joy. So no one will hurt each other because he will feel the pain immediately too and would have to stop." Now all the people were so inspired with the greatness of this child's thought. So the wizard returned all the trees, all the metals, all the rocks. And since that day, nobody on the planet tried to hurt his neighbor, because he would have to feel the same pain. So people began to help each other because they liked the sense of joy that they felt. And they all began to live in harmony and joy with peace and love. It's a good story, right? And when we were still meeting in church, in person, we would hold a short meditation practice in the back of the church before services began. And at the end of the meditation, we would do a chant that we first learned from Amma. And the chant is in Sanskrit. It's Lokaha Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And its meaning is, may all beings be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Now that's what we can do. Align our thoughts and words and actions so that they contribute to the good of all. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "It isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it." And that working to us means practice, to keep trying. I use my faith when trusting that I'll know what to do with each step I take, and then the next step, and then the next step. We all have a part to play. We all have a contribution to make. We are here to lift one another, to make a change, to grow and to evolve. Evolution doesn't happen to just one of us. It happens to all of us. So let's add to the speed of the evolution of love and peace in this world. We have what it takes. Don't let anything hold you back. Don't let your fear make you hesitate. Don't let past experiences cloud your vision and make you feel incapable. No matter what has happened before, you are needed now. Your vision is needed. Your understanding is needed. Your love is needed, especially in these trying times. You know, when things aren't working right, like your TV or your computer, which I just recently experienced, what we call tech support, right? And they always say the same thing. Hold the on-off button or pull out the plug for 30 or 60 seconds, and then it reboots, right? Well, when things aren't working in our lives, let's remember what I just talked about earlier, practicing the pause. Because if we practice the pause, it's like pulling the plug or holding the on-off button. And then we pray, which is the reboot. Prayer is the reboot. It brings us back to our center, to the love within us. That's where peace resides. Which reminds me of one more story. There's a story about a king who announces that he will be giving out a prize to the artist who would paint the best picture depicting peace. So many great painters sent the king several of their best works. And from these many masterpieces, there was a painting that stood out from all the rest. It was a picture of a calm lake that perfectly mirrored these beautifully, peacefully towering snow-capped mountains. Overhead was a beautiful clear blue sky with beautiful white fluffy clouds. The painting was perfect. And most of the townspeople who viewed it said that it was the very best amongst them all. But when the king announced the winner, everyone was shocked. The painting that won the prize also had mountains, but these mountains were rugged and bare, and the sky looked very angry. There was lightning and storm clouds. This did not look peaceful at all. The townspeople thought maybe this artist had mistakenly submitted her paintings depicting storm rather than peace. But when the king told them to look closer, they were able to see a tiny bush growing in the cracks of the rugged rock. In that bush, a mother bird had built a nest. In the midst of this rush of angry weather, the bird sat on her nest with peace. The king explained that peace does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise or trouble. Peace means to be in the midst of all the chaos and still be calm in the heart. The real peace is the state of mind, not the state of your surroundings. So the mother bird in her nest was calm despite her chaotic surroundings. Indeed, the best representation for peace. Our tiredness requires that kind of peace. Peace within, regardless of the chaos around us. These are trying times. And I can get lost in seeing the separation, and I can fuel my anger and regret it later. And I have. So I keep trying. It doesn't always work. Mostly it doesn't work. But there are the moments when it does. And when it does, then I can feel the presence. Then I can feel the hope, the possibilities. And then I know what's important. To love God with my whole heart, my whole soul, and my whole mind, and to love thy neighbor as thyself. So yes, these are trying times. So I will keep trying. I will keep believing, and I'll keep listening to my heart. And I'll keep looking for God in every person. I will keep seeking peace within myself. And I will keep believing in love, and I will remember our oneness. All that I can promise in these trying times is that I will keep trying. That's all. That I will just keep trying. So let's get together even in these trying times and try to love one another. Will you? Will you just keep trying to? Come on, people, now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another. Right now. Right now. Namaste. Have a wonderful week.